Hey there, everyone. I've got a devotional thought for you for today, for this week, and it comes from Luke chapter 10. Luke chapter 10, verses 38 through 42. It says, "Now it came to pass as they went that he entered into a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha received him into her house. And she had a sister called Mary, which also sat at Jesus' feet and heard his word. But Martha was cumbered about with much serving, and came to him and said, Lord, dost thou not care that my sister hath left me to serve alone? Bid her therefore that she help me. And Jesus answered and said unto her, Martha, Martha, thou art careful and troubled about many things. But one thing is needful, and Mary hath chosen that good part, which shall not be taken away from her." Wow. Now, you're probably familiar with that passage, right? And what I want to talk about today is workers and worshipers. Okay, so Martha is really a good representative for the worker. She's busy serving the Lord. She's in the kitchen, serving the Lord, preparing the meal, working. And some of you might be workers. You might be very busy serving God, very busy in the Lord's work, and that's good. That's very good. We see Mary was a worshiper. Instead of working with her sister in the kitchen, she would rather be sitting at the feet of Jesus, hearing his word. She wanted to worship Christ. Wow. And it's just interesting when you have those two. And really, I say Christians, you can break them down into either you're more of a worker or you're more of a worshiper. And we need it to be balanced, but many times we're one or the other, and I wonder which one are you? Are you more like Martha? You serve God. You're busy serving the Lord. You're the one that comes in and sets up chairs and tables and takes them down when it's over, and you're cleaning and you're just very busy serving. Or are you more of the person that you just enjoy being alone with God and worshiping Him, right? And I'm not saying one is more important than the other, although Jesus rebuked Martha in a very gentle way, didn't he? He rebuked her in a very gentle manner. He said, Martha, you are careful or anxious about many things. You're anxious about many things. But he said, one thing is needful. One thing? One thing? And he said, Mary hath chosen that good part, which shall not be taken away from her. Because Mary was taking the time to sit at the feet of Jesus and to worship him and to hear his word. And you know what? That's more important. Sitting at the feet of Jesus and worshiping the Lord is actually more important than serving the Lord. Did you know that? It's more important. And I'm not saying serving God is not important. Of course, it's very important, but worshiping God is more important. And so you know what we need to do? We need to come and sit at the feet of Jesus, and we need to worship at the feet of Jesus. And then get up and serve him. We need to worship God before we serve God. And you know what? A lot of Christians serve God. A lot of Christians are involved in some kind of ministry, working for the Lord, and that's great. But you know what? They are serving God without worshiping him. And that is not how it should be. We should get down and worship God first, and then get up and then work for God, serve God. We need to worship before we work. We need to worship before we work. All right? They're both important. Martha and Mary, they're both important. We need to serve God. I mean, where would we be if we never served God? Of course we have to serve God. We have to be involved in church ministry, of course. But do not be involved in church ministry if you do not get down and first worship God. Sitting at the feet of Jesus, hearing his word. Don't neglect that part. Jesus says, one thing is needful. You know what the one thing was for Martha? Martha needed to come right down and get down and worship Christ right there. She needed to take the time to worship Christ just as Mary had. Just as Mary had. She needed that Mary has chosen that good part, which shall not be taken away. You know what? Nobody can take away from you worshiping God. Nobody, even if someday churches were banned all across America. You can still worship God in your heart. You can worship God anywhere. Nobody can take that away from you. Nobody can take away worshiping God from your heart. That's the good part. That good part that nobody can take that away. So make sure you take the time to worship God, to hear His Word. How do you worship God? Well, it's not just singing. Just hearing the Word of God, hearing and responding to the Word of God, that's worship. Taking time every morning to open the Word of God, to read the Word of God, and to say, Lord, speak to my heart, please. You know what you're doing? You're sitting at the feet of Jesus, and you're worshiping Him. And you're waiting for Him you want Him to speak to you. You're waiting for Him to speak to you from His Word. That's such a wonderful thing. That is worshiping God. So remember this week, make sure you worship God before you work for God. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm Paul Robinson, and until next time, God bless you.